Hi everyone. As you know, I'm currently reading The Squiggly Career as part of the Leadfest Autumn Book Club, and as promised, here's a quick 5-minute vlog on chapter 2, which is all around strengths. In the book, strengths are summed up as being why people hire you, how you add value, and when you're using those strengths, you're 6 times more effective and engaged in your role. Now, the chapter covers things that you're naturally good at and the strengths that you develop through your experience. And it also refers to strengths as being the positive attributes you'd want people to say about you when you're not in the room. Now, we all know that trying to be good at everything is impossible. And we also know that we can't build performance through weakness. So again, in the book, Helen and Sarah suggest spending 80% of our time making our strengths even stronger and 20% of the time mitigating the weaknesses that hold you back, but not spending any more time than that on those. So why are strengths important? Well, using strengths in a new and different way can lead to higher levels of satisfaction and happiness in our work. Helps us to explore different possibilities, and it's also suggested that those different possibilities will find us too when we are using our strengths and making sure that they're visible to other people. Strength-focused teams as well have been found in a study by Gallup to be 12.5% more productive. So Helen and Sarah in the book suggest becoming strength spotters, not just for yourself, but for other people as well. Now, there's a great exercise in here for high speed strengths where you set a timer for 60 seconds and write down 20 things that you're good at. Can feel quite difficult. And then it's, how many have you actually come up with? And do it a few times, so maybe 3 times during the week, different times of the day, see what you come up with. Great idea as a starting point for what are those strengths when you put on the spot about yourself. There's then a lovely little exercise where you identify 3 weaknesses, which can feel a little bit easier. And the reason that we look at weaknesses with this chapter is to identify an opposing strength. So for instance, I tend to overthink things. And actually, once I'd written that down as a weakness, I thought, well, what's the strength in that? I started to think, well, possibly that I'm really conscientious and I really want to get things right. The chapter goes on to talk about natural talents, so the things that you're good at without being taught. And again, an exercise there to ask 3 people, a friend, a family member and a colleague, for 3 words to describe you. And then look for the themes. So not only do you start to see similarities, but you may well find that people from different areas of your life are choosing different words, and it might signal an opportunity for you to make a strength show up more in one area of your life. I actually asked more than 3 people, and I found it really useful when I'm looking at those themes, and that's certainly something that I'm going to keep on doing. From all of that, we're asked to come up with our top 6 natural talents from all of the exercises so far. Something that really resonated with me was a story that Helen shares in chapter 2, where she identified high energy as being a strength of hers. And up to that point, she'd really thought that that was just her being her. And not only that, she'd actually tried to quash it in the workplace because she thought that she'd be seen as less serious and less professional as a leader. That really did hit home with me. So something really to think about, of identifying those natural talents and where they actually are a strength and making sure that they come across in that way. The chapter goes on to talk about learned strengths, which are the things that we become good at through effort and practice and learning. And we reflect on what you actually do in your current job role and how you do it. So all of the behaviours that you bring to work each day, as well as the what is expected. And then the chapter closes by using all of those insights to determine what our super strengths are. So if the strengths are what we're good at, then super strengths are what we're brilliant at. We choose 6 strengths that we feel most confident in and that we want to explore further. And then we consider a set of 4 criteria. And this criteria is about success. So has the strength helped you to succeed? Has it helped you to be successful? frequency, and we should be aiming to use our strengths as often as possible. So how often do we get to use that strength? Openness, which is about visibility. Do people know that you're good at that? Would people say it if they were asked? Look at your LinkedIn profile. Does it show that strength? And then the fourth one is happiness, because if it's you at your best, if it gives you energy, it should also make you happy. Once you've looked at that criteria and scored out of 10, we start to identify what makes us the happiest, because actually if it doesn't make us happy, we probably don't want it as a super strength. And likewise, once we've identified which strengths make us happy, that's probably going to be an indicator of which ones have a success as a natural outcome, because if we're happy, it's probably going to lead to more success from it. And doing it more often and more visibly is also going to lead to that success. So think about how you can use the strengths that make you happy more, and also how others can see what a great job that you're doing. So not only do we need to consider what are our strengths and our super strengths, but we need to make sure that they show up and they stand out, and ask for some feedback based on those strengths. So asking people you work with, can you tell me when you think I'm at my best, or where do you think I added the most value on that piece of work? The final exercise I really like in this chapter that I'm definitely going to start to use is a bit of a speed dating with strengths. So identifying one strength and sharing it with somebody, telling them what that strength is, how you currently use it in your job role, and a way that you could use it more in what you currently do. So really starting to think kind of future focused with those strengths. So that's chapter 2 of the Squiggly Career. Really looking forward to moving on this week to chapter 3, which is focusing on values, and I will give you an update next week on what I find out. So enjoy your week, and I will see you next Monday.